Hello, my friends. Let's practice another English grammar concept, infinitives. First, what is an infinitive? An infinitive is a type of verb that starts with to. It never has an ing ending. For example, we need to decide if we should buy a new car. In this sentence, we have a conjugated verb, need. And after need, we have an infinitive form of a verb. In this case, to decide. To decide is an infinitive. Another example is I like to ride my bike. Again, like is a conjugated form of a verb. And after this, we have to ride. To ride together, those two words are the infinitive form of the verb. Infinitives can occur in different places in a sentence in English. They can occur after certain verbs and many adjectives. They can but rarely occur at the beginning of a sentence. This means that sometimes we can add an infinitive at the beginning of a sentence, but usually that makes us sound very formal. A famous example is from Shakespeare. To be or not to be? That is the question. Here we start the sentence with to be, the infinitive form of the verb. But in normal conversation, this is rare. That means it doesn't happen very often. Finally, infinitives almost never occur after a preposition. So if you have a word like for, you probably will not include an infinitive. Again, there are some exceptions, usually the word but. However, it's also not very common. It almost never happens. Let's look at some examples. I agreed to go to Target with him. The verb agreed is an example of a verb that usually only has an infinitive after it. For example, I would not use the gerund form of to go, which is going. I agreed going to Target with him is not common. It's more common to say, I agreed to go to Target with him. I need to learn how to cook. Need is another example where you will usually have an infinitive after it. So we say to learn. I need to learn. And finally, we decided to visit our friends this weekend. Decided is one more verb that typically has an infinitive after it. We decided to visit. One more tip with the infinitive in English. It is always with to. It always starts with to. To is a part of the infinitive structure in English. Not every language is like this. English is unique. So when you need to use an infinitive, you need to make sure you have to in the front. In my examples here, it is not correct to say, I agreed go to Target with him. We need to because it is part of the infinitive structure. So, I agreed to go, I need to learn, and we decided to visit. My friends, of course, practice is very important. Let's look at a few short passages that use infinitives and gerunds. I like to garden. In the spring, I start working hard to weed, to plant, and to water all of my vegetables. Since it is so dry in Montana, I need to make sure that my plants receive enough water. In this story, you see the phrases that are in green: to garden, to weed, to plant, to water, and to make sure. All of these actions, all of these verbs are in the infinitive form. Let's look at another example. My friend loves to travel. She began to travel when she was young, and she remembers visiting many amazing places in her childhood. Her favorite place to go was the beach. Since she lived in a cold place, she enjoyed spending time in a different climate. Again, my friends, you see the phrases in green: to travel, to go. Those are the actions in the infinitive form of the verb. Okay, my friends, remember, practice, 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 and never give up.